give it a minute. I don't know if it needs approval. I'm gonna try to leave it on the holder this time because I have such squirmy body, like I cannot hold still. Hello, hello. Hello, I made sure to tag you. I totally hacked you guys' page. I will give it a minute, make sure that Jackie is on. I still had my church makeup on, so I figured I might as well go now before I look homeless again. So I'm just gonna let Jackie hop on at least. All right, at least there's a couple. So I hope that you guys love the message for today. I know that I have been in your team page before, and I said a little bit of like my story and whatnot, but there is an added message for today. And then I know that there are brand newbies. So hopefully by the time that you are done with this, somebody got something out of it. So I should have put on silent with all my group chats. Okay, so the biggest subject for why I'm coming in here is why not you, okay? Like, as an independent business owner, like we are our own worst critics in this business. Like, it's just, we really can beat ourselves up on a day-to-day. And I'm just here to put kind of a different, like, perspective of sorts. So first off, my name is Miranda Yasaki. I am from Seattle, Washington. I'm a presidential diamond, and I'm gunning hard for ambassador right beside Jackie. And I was number 124 income earner, for this year. So it's been a crazy, crazy time with this business. I signed up July 4th, 2015. Not many people knew our backstory, but I was literally counting change in the car to get gas, groceries. By trade, I had a career. I had a full-on career. I had 15 years, radiology supervisor, you know, where you just wouldn't expect a family like ours to be struggling, but we hit it really, really well. And so, you know, growing up was really, really difficult. We lived in severe, severe poverty, 2 metal trailers pieced together, you know, no insulation, no running water, you know, none of that. Our laundry was done every Sunday. At the laundromat, I like wore thrift store clothes. We were on the food bank, food stamps, just really, really, you know, tough stuff. And I was just an odd child, and I worked really hard from the time I was little and, you know, kicked butt, got myself into x-ray school. I was actually pregnant starting the school. So I'm a young mom. So I got pregnant when I was 19. And it was just kind of like, a little hard. You know, here I am starting a huge, like, degree, and I was pregnant. They told me to quit. I didn't do that. So I kept on going, and then just bounced in my medical field really, really fast, but along the way made really, really poor choices. Because we were such young parents, you know, we didn't know what the heck we were doing. We didn't know how to budget, save, none of that. I married my elementary school sweetheart, and, you know, the economy crashed. What was that? 2009, 10. And I have a really, really giving heart. Sometimes it gets me in trouble. Okay. A lot of times it gets me in trouble, and I overspend helping. And so at this time I, was just now getting ready to have my middle child, and, we took in multiple families to help them because they became homeless. And so it was multiple family, like friends or family. And because we took them in, you know, all of a sudden we went from like a few of us in a household to 17 of us in a household. And so they came in, you know, everything was fine, had baby. The week that I had baby, my husband's job laid him off. And so it just created this domino effect. You know, we started not paying, you know, the extra bills, right? And it was like pure on survival mode. We got our car repossessed. We got a second car repossessed. All of my credit cards went in default. Like, you can literally see on my credit report, like, when everything hit. And it did. Our credit scores were so low, so embarrassing, that they went into the 300s. Like, it was so bad. And so, you know, years after years, you know, collectors harassing us, like, all this crazy stuff. And I got pregnant with baby number 3. He was an oopsie. And the week that I found out that I was pregnant, I found out my mom had cancer. And so here we are already struggling. And then I've got the extra worries with my mom. I had a really difficult pregnancy, really difficult. I had heart problems. I think it was more just because of stress, quite frankly. But like anything that you can really think of when you're pregnant, like it pretty much was happening. Unfortunately, my mom didn't make it. She had a super aggressive cancer and we didn't know it. And so 6 months from her diagnosis, we lost her. And I was 8.5 months pregnant when we lost her. And so to say the least, it kind of like shifted everything about my life in general. Yes, we were struggling and everything, but all I could focus on was like, I just lost one of the biggest people in my life. And so had baby a month later, and I was on maternity leave. For those that, I don't know who lives in Canada and who doesn't, but here in the US, for the hospital I was working at, we only got 60% of our pay. And so it was so difficult. And I just felt like I lost everything at that point. I was filing for bankruptcy. My husband was asking his in-laws if we can live with them. I had nobody to borrow money to, you know, like I had a payday loan. Like some people say, oh, we were living paycheck to paycheck. We weren't even getting that far. We would get to the Tuesday or Wednesday before, and then like had nothing, literally nothing to our name. And so we would go over to a relative's house and try to eat dinner, something. I would just try to find any pennies, anything. I've tried extreme couponing. I tried selling things off the internet, you name it. I've tried it. I just didn't want to work more than I already was because I was working full time. I was doing 2 16-hour shifts on the weekend as a radiology supervisor. So I took x-rays, I supervised people and all that sort of stuff. My husband worked 4 10s, but because he had a commute, it actually was like 12, 14-hour days. And so we had one day off as a family. So I had a newborn on my hands. Like, I knew the cost of daycare. Like, we couldn't afford daycare and me going back to work. It just didn't make sense. And quite frankly, I was just petrified of anyone watching my baby. So the idea of working outside of the home, a second job, just didn't even seem possible. I had 3 other kids, technically 2, but I took in my niece also. So there was 4 total kids at the time. So newborn, my oldest, my middle child, and then my niece. And then we had 2 puppies. I literally felt like a single mom, you guys. Like, it was awful. And so this business came in my life when I was like done. Like, I was just completely done with everything. It isn't until recent that I've actually been sharing like how bad it was for me up here. I've always suffered from like depression and anxiety and panic attacks and just all that kind of bad stuff. And when you lose someone big, like, it kind of does a number on you. And so there was a couple times where I thought I would just be done with life. And I got really far by going into the garage, this very garage, and having the door shut and having the key in the ignition, just ready to be done. And the only thing that stopped me was just the idea of what I went through with my own mom. I didn't want to put that through my kids, you know? And so then this business came. You guys, this business saved my life. It really did. If I didn't have this, like, it gave me a positive outlet is what it was, and hope for something more than what already was, you know? And so I'm going to say this part, like, nobody was in my corner. Nobody. I lost my last 2 best friends when I started this. The minute that they heard I joined it, they were like, I'm an introvert, so I like being home. Like, it's my sanctuary, you know? Like, I like being home, and I'm usually really, really shy. I'm getting out of my own bubble and getting out of my own way, but like, I'm a shy introvert. I'm from a super, super small town of 3,000, you know, and I moved away to the big city where I knew nobody, a teen mom. I worked a weekend shift where everybody else was out partying and stuff. I was working, you know, and so it was literally like the odds were against me starting this. I had 50 Facebook friends. I had no Instagram account. And the only really remaining person I was hoping would be on board was my husband. And he was actually the worst one out of all of them. So he told me no, that I was gullible, that it was a scam, that I believe everything off the internet. And in his defense, I just don't blame him, because I was always the one buying the infomercial stuff, and all that. But there was just something in me that I just had to freaking try. And it was like a combination, like I didn't want to focus on the grief with my mom. I felt at my all-time lowest. Like I've always had super low self-esteem. Man, we are really mean to ourselves, right? And at this time, I couldn't even look in a mirror. I was so disgusted with myself. I hated myself. I didn't have any love for myself. And it sounds so terrible just saying it out loud, because I preach against it now, but that's where I was at, and I just had a 10-pound baby, and it was just gosh, I felt like I had lost myself on a whole different level, us moms, it does a number on our bodies with kids. And so, just the idea, I'm like, okay, I can get cheap discounts and maybe make money, and I'm competitive. Most people don't know that. I'm super competitive. I don't know why, I just am. And so the idea of making money while focusing on losing weight and stuff, it intrigued me. I'm like, And so I signed up. I went against hubby, signed up, used our firecracker money that was actually our cell phone bill. So I had justified, I'm not going to pay my cell phone. We're going to buy firecrackers, because it was 4th of July when I signed up. And I used that money. And so the kids were mad. My husband wasn't speaking to me, but there was just something, I'm like, I have to try this. And it was probably one of the most spontaneous things I'd ever done, but I just felt like I couldn't wait on it anymore. I waited on it for 3 weeks from the time I found out from it. I did not sign up with my friend that introduced me. I signed up with a random person. And I'm going to say this part on purpose, because if you're trying to think about what to post and stuff, the reason I signed up with her is that, number one, she talked about where she was going all the time. She literally was just this is where I'm going, this is where I'm going, this is where I'm going. She had amazing results, and I wanted it. And she kept talking about how she had an exclusive team page for only those that signed up with her. So make sure to post about that. Because I knew my friend didn't really have anything going on yet, and she had a lot of life happening. She didn't have really results yet. It was just And my biggest concern was that I was going to invest this money that I didn't even have. For what? Am I going to be left by myself here? Because I really don't want to be left by myself. I just, I'm an all for nothing type. So I just wanted to go full force. And so I signed up with a random person. Had no idea who the freak she was. And I was like, surprise, I'm your new distributor. And it was just I just took off. I didn't know what I was doing, you guys. I waited until my kid came. Don't do that. But I did end up getting Ruby 2 weeks after I got my kit. And so what happened? I put a wrap on myself, put a wrap on my husband. Yes, I forced him. A few days later, put another one on both of us. And those results was what made us get to Ruby in the 2 weeks. So if you're not taking your kit supply seriously, you really should. So it did take me a little bit to get to Diamond. You guys, I might have signed up with the person that I signed up with, but it was a lesson learned that it was more talk. We were completely different. And so I really started from the ground up. I made my own team page. Our color personalities were different. Everything was completely different. And so it took me a long time to try to figure things out. It took me a year to get to Diamond. I lost it the very next month because I had the wrong people with me. Your audience totally matters. So they taught it at a conference. Know your avatar, right? Do you even like the people on your Facebook or your Instagram? If you don't even like them, then why are they in there? Because those are the people that you're going to bring on board. You want to look at them hey, is this going to be my new best friend? And so be picky, kind of. And so I changed my audience. I missed my first conference, which is probably one of the biggest oopsies of my whole business. Got to the next one as a struggling Ruby. And a couple months, or that same month, got my diamond back. A few months later, got double diamond. A few months later, box for triple. Hit conference number 2. hit triple diamond. A few months later, hit presidential diamond. And now I'm working on ambassador diamond. So it's been a crazy thing, you guys. It really has. And so the whole why not you, the last few years, like by far out of any struggle, I can pour into people all day long. Like I love people. I love inspiring and giving hope and just like uplifting them. But it came down to me, I couldn't put it back to myself. I was trying to learn how to love myself again. It's really where it was. And I don't even think I really ever really did in my whole life. It was such a hard life. I don't talk about so many of it, and I still haven't. There's just so much that has happened. And it's that self-development factor, if you're not pouring in yourself every single day, you guys, you'll never make it in this. I'm just telling you, take it seriously. Get to know who you are. What do you want? What makes you happy? So because of It Works, 10 months in, I retired my very skeptical husband. Because of It Works, I retired about a year ago. We are now a full-time family. Because of It Works, my kids went from failing all their grades. Literally, they were so unhappy, little miserable. They were so miserable and they little jerks. And now, they're the sweetest kids, and we've changed schools. I pay private high school for my daughter, $1,200 a month. Ouch. But because of this business, all of this is possible. They were bullied, all sorts of things, and they're the happiest kids now. We are very present parents. My husband is now living his dream. He is a state away from me right now, coaching, and he donates his time for free. And I think that is the coolest thing ever, that he gets to live his dream. I'm living mine. My kids are happy. We've taught them how to dream. Our whole atmosphere is just completely different. If you can hear in the background, those are my doggies. And they wouldn't even be possible without the business. So they are two purebreds that were $3,000 each. And so, just everything is different. We could pay our bills. I can walk into a grocery store, pay for organic food, whatever, where I couldn't even do that before. I was counting change just to buy the cheapest chicken, I'd go to bed hungry. So it's just crazy that you just have to keep going. Now, why not you? So I will tell you this right now. I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but I love Jesus, okay? So I looked at it very much the minute that this business got put into my life, all the puzzle pieces of everything that I've gone through, all the struggle, everything was just glued together, right? That I'm okay, I get it. This is what I've been waiting for my whole life, was this business coming into my life. Where I was struggling so much when I lost my mom, because it was gosh, what if I only have so much time left, am I going to even like what I went through so far? No, I wasn't happy. I hated my job. I hated it. It was so toxic. I worked with coworkers that were so mean to me, so disrespectful, just wanted to do me in all the time. I worked with a boss, quite honestly, just wanted in my pants the whole time. It was disgusting. And it was just and I was bored. I was so bored. I hit the top rank so fast within pretty much 2 years. I had nowhere else to go. And so the fact that we're in a business where it's so unlimited is just so awesome. I'm never bored. And 15 years in the medical field versus the 3 doing It Works, I have helped so many more people doing It Works. And that is what was so near and dear to my heart, that I have purpose. And I have reason for being here. And that is what I wanted more than anything else, was just gosh, if I only have so much time left, I want to at least try to make an impact, try to touch somebody out there, And so I love my life. Now, why not you? God put me here tonight for a reason and a purpose, right? For some reason. They put Jackie in your life for a reason and a purpose. God loved you so much that he has put this business in your life. What is crazy to me is the people that don't even give it a chance. You start it, you don't even open your business kit. Oh yeah, that didn't work. Or you open your business kit, you put on a wrap, maybe you drank two liters of 7-Up at the same time. Yeah, that didn't work. Yeah, you shouldn't buy this because it doesn't work. I don't understand that. You have a business where can be successful. You've seen people make it. You have one of the coolest leaders in all of It Works. She is a badass. She's on a whole different level, okay? The fact that you have Jackie right by your side, where that she's a lifer with the business, they're a full-time family, she's not going to leave you. Well, she'll leave you if you don't hurry it up. But you know what I mean? You've got somebody that has you there. Like, that is so freaking powerful. And like, she's willing to pour into you, whatever it takes, but you got to meet her halfway. And it's the same thing how I talk to my own team, you know, like, I'm here, but I'm not. Like, I'm still going that way. And I hope that you're running with me. And if you're back over there, I'm going to like hope that you catch up, but I'm not going to wait for you like at all. But just the fact that you have one of the coolest leaders of all of it works. Like, what in the world are you doing? Like, why are you not going? Like, what is handicapping you? And I would love to know that too. And I'm sure Jackie probably does too. Like, what right now are you struggling with the most with the business right now? Like, what is your biggest struggle? And it could be, you're full of skeptics, right? There's family, friends that just like are giving you a hard time. That your network is small, that you don't think that you're smart enough, pretty enough, whatever enough, that you live in a small town, that a lot of life is happening. I'm trying to think of like the biggest excuses. That you work full time and you're a parent. And so you feel like you don't have time. You don't know how to like fully close the deal with customers or distributors, right? There's something that's holding you back. And you might just have one toe in the business, right? But you're over there, right? Maybe like someone got sick. Yeah, I can't work my business today. I got sick. You guys, I have a fever right now. So like, I'm just a queen of no excuses. Like, I just don't believe in excuses at all. Like, it's all up here. That's all it is. The month that I went double diamond, and no one even knew it either, is that my brother got put into prison for murder. He's still there. I lost my favorite uncle, and he was on my husband's side. I married a Pacific Islander, and their culture is a lot different, so much different. And in their culture, funerals don't last a day, okay? They last all month long. Well, guess what? They used my house, okay? And for like an introvert, like, and I don't do people very well. I'm getting out of that, but it's taken me a lot. So to have everyone coming in, we had hundreds of people, hundreds every single day. It was crazy. I was having 3-4 panic attacks a day. Like, it was awful. Like, I was like shaking, and I got so stressed that I actually made myself sick, and I just about died. So nobody knows this story really, but this is the month that I went double diamond. Like, it's those times where I'm a fighter. Like, I'm like, you give me something, you tell me I can't do something or whatever, I'm going to go show you. Like, so I love haters. I love skeptics. The fact that my own husband was like my number one, yeah, it was annoying, but I looked at it like, I'm going to prove him wrong. You have to have that mentality with this business. And something that I've been saying a lot lately is like, think about all the jobs that you've worked in your life. All of them. Okay, I've worked a lot. You know, I worked at restaurants as a waitress. I did a cocktail waitress. I did bookkeeping for truckers. Like, I worked at Target, Red Lobster, all sorts, right? Every single job that I've ever worked, there's somebody at my job field that was a jerk, okay? Like, just some jerk, you know? You're going to get jerks everywhere. So the fact that you might have some jerks right now, so what? Like, so if you allow your life to be dictated by other people's opinions and thoughts and all this, you'll never truly live, because you're never going to make everybody happy. Just saying. Why not apply using this business and brush them off? Like, you know, you're still working at your Target Red Lobster. If there's haters, why in the world would you not work this too? When you have no cap on income, you have your best friends right by your side, and like crazy growth. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, you're still working over there, and you're probably working a lot harder at those jobs, right? I know at the hospital, 16 hours on my freaking feet. They don't give a rip if you don't go to the bathroom. They don't care that you might not have had your lunch or dinner. They don't care. The doctors that are screaming on the phone at me, where's this report? You know, that they don't care, right? Nobody cares. Yet I worked my butt off at the hospital. Sweat dripping down my back. Like, I literally I have a herniated disc in my back. I gave myself 2 concussions at work before. Like, they don't care. I had a broken wrist and like torn ligaments in my wrist, and we were right next to like a computer launch thing. They didn't give a shit. They didn't. They're like, nope, you got to show up and have to help train these guys. Okay, showing up pale in the face, my sausage fingers. They didn't care, you know? And so you're working your tail off doing all these jobs, yet you come into this business and then, oh, I posted once. I talked to 2 people. That doesn't even freaking make no sense. Makes no sense. Even a smidgen of the same effort in a regular job, you'd make a lot of money doing this. So it's just like, I don't get it. And I think that it's more just that we're our own boss and you're being a terrible boss. You know, like you got to have that time management and just get your crap done. What I love is that Jackie does power hours. I love it. The power hours, if you're not utilizing them, make your own. Like, and then compete against yourself. Set the freaking timer so that it's going to ding, right? And just like race yourself. I'll do this with like cleaning the house sometimes because I'm a weirdo. Like, okay, gotta race, you know, or I know that my husband's going to be home at a certain time and I set the timer, you know, I'm like, woohoo, do the same thing with this. Like, how fast can you send out like 50? And I just had Jackie on my team page, so I know what she, like, her daily. So 50 host to post, green light, like what we call it a green light message for host to post. Like, how fast can you send them out? It literally will probably take you like 2 minutes to send out 50 messages. 2 minutes. How many minutes are in a day? Like, you just like did one of the biggest bulks of your business by messaging. Like, it does not take much to get to the very top of this business, like, at all. Like, if you guys saw my typical 24 hours, you'd be like, what the freak? Like, I went to church today, you know, I'm just like making meals and cleaning the house. That's the bulk of my day. And then this, you know, like you just weed it in smartly, you know? And so like, man, go full force. You have one of the most powerful, beautiful, awesomest leaders. Like if I could restart It Works, Jackie would be top on my list on like who to sign up with. Like you guys have struck gold. Utilize her. She's done so much research. We're very alike on that. We've poured into YouTube's like separate. We didn't know each other existed. I wish. You know, we're both looking at YouTube's all day long researching so that you guys don't have to figure that crap out. You have the steps. Follow the steps. There's a system, you know, and I was a math nerd. And so I loved when I figured out the system. I'm like, okay, now I know what to do each day. You know, you're messaging, you're interacting, you're adding, self-development. I'm sure I just now missed that one. No, that's pretty much it. Message, post, stories, host a post, interact, add, self-development, you know? And so it's important. You just follow the steps, you know? And if you want to make your weekly schedule a little bit unique, you know, maybe you are still working. Most people are, you know? Most people are. The idea is to work maybe slightly harder so that you don't have to work so hard later, right? And so figure out your schedule. If you've got 2 days off of the week, cool, go do your massive ads then, you know, pre-make some posts, like all of that. And then it's just so like easy throughout the week, but the weekdays, you know, you go pee for your work. I used to go pee a lot. Like, oh, sorry, diarrhea, you know, so you can hurry up and go post. Then they never give you no grief, just a hint, hint. But you know, you like, that would usually happen on promotion times. So like, you know, you hit the bathroom, hurry up and grab one of your posts. One of my time savers tips, I have an extra group. Don't get any ideas. It's just for me, okay? An extra group on Facebook where I put my posts inside of it. And the only reason why I do that is because I've lost 3 different phones now and I lost all my stuff on it, okay? So it's just a group for my posts only so that I can literally just copy paste. So that if my dad comes to visit or something, I go to the bathroom, boop, boop, okay, done. You know what I mean? So you just have to work your schedule like that. If you had an online class, I took an entire degree online and it's not easy, okay? You have homework and you have tests that you have to get done. You paid for those classes, right? You paid for your business kit. It's the same thing. You have homework and tests throughout the day. You just got to get them done and then go live your life, you know? I love my life, you guys. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, you see people like me, like Jackie, whoever, like it is possible. You just can't let your excuses dictate your life is really what it comes down to. It doesn't matter if you didn't graduate high school or if you have a college degree. It doesn't matter if you came from a small town, you come from the big city. It doesn't matter anything. It doesn't matter age, ethnicity, nothing. It boils down to what the freak do you want in your life? What makes you the happiest? And go work your ass off to go get it. Because no one else is going to give it to you. Nobody else is going to care as much as you. And some people are okay in this cycle that they are in. But there's a lot of people that are not. And it's up to you to get there. Don't expect your upline to care as much about your why as you do. Don't expect your upline to completely build you because it's not sustainable. Like, you've got to work and hustle. But our work and hustle is awesome, you guys. Lock arms, find an accountability partner, have fun with it. I'm obsessed with my life now. Like, I love it. Like, I smile all the time. People that haven't seen me in like years are like, Miranda, like, you just seem so carefree and just like different. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. Whoa, you know, like, I'm happy. You know, like, I get to be, like, my marriage alone, you guys, my husband used to sleep on the couch a lot. like, I just didn't want to be around him. You know, just my marriage alone has improved just so much. It's so beautiful. Like, I fall in love with him more and more, like, all the time. And it's because we don't have those stresses on our shoulder anymore. We're not fighting about finances anymore. We're not fighting over the kids anymore. You know, like, it's like we've had a chance to just learn and love one another, you know, like we have never had before. And so just like getting my husband so he's not breaking his back and hurting every single day, and getting all those finance problems away and all this, like, it's just like, wow, wow, like, life is just so good, you know? And so I'm just living life the way I feel like if I had a time limit on me, right? If you only had a week to live, a year to live, and I really want you guys to think about this. I actually had this conversation with my husband. If you knew that you only had, let's say, a year to live, how would you live that life? And I definitely look at life like that because I lost my mom, and life, like, our days are not promised, okay? We're all technically dying right now, if you think about it, okay? If you only had a year to live, how would you live your life in that year? So why the hell are you not? Like, you're not promised. So quit freaking just like going through the motions of your life. Like, think about where you are right now. Are you going to want to be in the same spot a year from now? Probably not, right? Are you okay with your bank account, the numbers that they are at? Are you okay with the way that you look and feel? Are you okay with, you know, what your family situation is or where you're living and all that? If you're not, then do something about it. You're not going to win the lotto. Okay, there's not a prince coming down to swoop you up. Like, you got to take control and just act on it. So why not you? From a super small town of 3,000, the shy, quiet girl in class that had a full-on public speaking, like, phobia. You guys, I had a full-on phobia. I wouldn't sleep for weeks when, like, class things were due. Went through an extra grade in school. I could not people. Teen mom. No experience doing this. 50 Facebook friends, you know, a whole lot of life happening. I'm telling you right now, why not you? So I hope this was helpful. I'll go through your comments here in a second. Love you guys so much. Happy Sunday to you. And thank you, Jackie, for having me. I love you. Bye, guys.